Poland's prime minister has canceled plans for his country to send a delegation to a meeting in Jerusalem after the acting Israeli foreign minister said Poles, quote, collaborated with the Nazis and sucked anti-Semitism from their mother's milk. The developments come in a bitter conflict over how to remember and characterize Polish actions toward Jews during the German occupation of Poland in World War II.
Next, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has announced that he's withholding tax money usually distributed to the Palestinian Authority. The sum in question is equivalent to $138 million, and that same sum is required by his counterpart, Mahmoud Abbas, to pay the salaries of Palestinian prisoners in Israeli prisons.
A trim on the taxes Israel collects from Palestinians and redistributes. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced a 5% cut amounting to some $138 million, the same sum the Palestinian administration reported paying to prisoners' families in 2018.
Today I will submit for cabinet approval the legislation on deducting terrorist salaries from the Palestinian Authority funds. This is an important law which we have advanced, and today we will pass it exactly as I promised.
A spokesman for Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas described a unilateral blow and piracy of the Palestinian people's money. Under interim peace deals, Israel collects taxes from the Palestinian population, which are meant to go to Palestinians. Since negotiations hit a deadlock in 2014, Israel has at times withheld money in protest or to exert pressure. Meanwhile, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has vowed to keep paying stipends to the families of Palestinians killed by Israel or jailed for carrying out attacks on Israelis.
I hope the Palestinian Authority continues to follow up, as the President has promised that even if there's 1 cent left in the state treasury, he'll give it to the martyrs' and prisoners' families.
It's a policy which Israel and the US say encourages violence. The freeze comes as the Palestinians face major budget cuts made last year. The Trump administration cut back hundreds of millions of dollars of funding to organizations which aid the Palestinians, while the UN's World Food Programme also rolled back services due to funding shortages.
Poland has pulled out of a planned summit in Israel. This follows remarks from the Israeli acting foreign minister, who said many Poles had collaborated with the Nazis in World War II. The Visegrad 4 summit aimed to unite Poland, Israel, Hungary, the Czech Republic and Slovakia, but Warsaw now says there will be no Polish presence whatsoever.
It's the latest round in a long-running row between Poland and Israel over history. Warsaw pulled out of a planned summit between the Visegrad group and Israel over a minister's comments, which it slammed as racist.
Mr. Katz's words are unacceptable not only in diplomacy, but for me they are unacceptable anywhere in public. Poland was the nation that suffered most, along with Jews and the Roma, during World War II.
In a TV interview on Sunday, Israel's acting foreign minister, Israel Katz, had this to say about Poles during the Second World War.
Of course, there were many Poles who collaborated with the Nazis. Unlike the former Prime Minister Yitzhak Shamir, whose father was murdered, said, Poles suckle anti-Semitism with their mother's milk.
This added fuel to the fire when the Polish government had been waiting for an apology from Israel, after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu himself accused Poland of complicity in Nazi crimes. Netanyahu's remarks prompted the Polish Prime Minister to announce he would not attend Tuesday's summit and would send a minister in his place. Following Katz's comment, Warsaw decided to boycott the meeting altogether. The leaders of the other 3 Visegrad Group nations, Hungary, the Czech Republic and Slovakia, still plan to attend what will now be bilateral talks, with the summit set to be rescheduled for later in 2019. The latest spat comes a year after Poland and Israel clashed over a Polish law that made it illegal to accuse the country of complicity with the Nazis. After protests from Israel and the US, Poland amended the law to remove the possibility of fines or a prison sentence.